Recap: the key at last. The party's journey through the narrow maze had already tested their strength, patience, and sanity, but the dungeon was not finished with them yet. Their adventure resumed in C-93, where the ancient specter had finally been released from the chamber that had imprisoned it for centuries. The moment the sealed door opened, the party did what seasoned adventurers normally do when confronted by a powerful undead creature. They attacked it. Weapons flashed. Spells were prepared. Battle cries echoed through the room. The specter, however, barely seemed to care. After centuries trapped behind celestial wards, it had no interest in revenge, treasure, or adding a few more corpses to the dungeon floor. Freedom was all it wanted. It swept past the party like a storm of cold shadow, ignoring their attacks as it fled into the darkness. For the first time in centuries, the creature was free. Whether that freedom would become someone else's problem remained to be seen. With the specter gone, the party continued into C-94. Every corridor was examined, every suspicious stone questioned, and every doorway treated as though it personally intended to murder them. Considering their experiences in Region C, that was probably a reasonable assumption. They searched for traps, checked walls for secret passages, and cautiously followed the winding corridors until they finally reached C-103. There, resting upon an altar beneath angelic images, was a beautiful silver key. It gleamed with celestial light. It looked important. It looked valuable. Most importantly, it looked like exactly what they had been searching for. Naturally, they took it. For a moment, it seemed almost too easy. Then Basil approached one of the chamber's walls. As he touched the stone, hidden lines appeared across its surface. A secret doorway silently opened before him, revealing another chamber beyond. The party exchanged suspicious looks. Apparently, the dungeon had not finished hiding keys from them. Beyond the secret passage lay C-104, a bewildering series of interconnected rooms filled with keys: silver keys, iron keys, golden keys, tiny keys, enormous keys. Keys hanging from hooks, resting on pedestals, and waiting inside alcoves. There were enough keys to open every door in the dungeon, or at least enough to convince several adventurers to begin touching things they probably should not touch. The first few attempts went poorly. Astrid reached for one of the keys. Lightning exploded through the chamber. A brilliant flash filled the room as electricity surged through her body, leaving her smoking, stunned, and considerably less enthusiastic about key collecting. Someone else tried another key. That one suddenly sprouted vicious metal spikes. The spikes drove directly through the unfortunate adventurer's hand. There was shouting. There was blood. There were probably several colorful words unsuitable for celestial halls. After that, the party reached an important tactical conclusion. Stop touching the keys. They continued through the chambers far more carefully. Every hanging key now looked suspicious. Every polished surface seemed to conceal another trap. No one volunteered to test anything without first discussing whose turn it was to be electrocuted. Eventually, they reached the celestial test that guarded the true path. Before them were three objects representing different desires and intentions. Among them rested a beautiful golden rose. Astrid stepped forward. The moment she touched it, memories flooded her mind, memories of the woman she truly loved, someone absent from her side and beyond her reach within the endless dungeon. Astrid held the rose quietly. She admitted that she could not give it to the one person she most wished to receive it. For a moment, the dungeon's endless dangers disappeared. There were no traps, no monsters, and no cursed keys. Only the painful memory of someone she wished was standing beside her. Then Astrid turned toward the party's paladin. Rather than keeping the rose, she offered it freely. The paladin accepted. Celestial light filled the chamber. The golden petals began to shine. One by one, they folded inward as the flower changed within the paladin's hands. The stem became silver. The petals became the teeth of a key. When the radiance faded, the rose was gone. In its place rested the true silver key they had been seeking. After false keys, lightning blasts, spikes through hands, hidden passages, and enough celestial trickery to make everyone suspicious of ordinary door locks for the rest of their lives, the party had finally succeeded. They possessed the key capable of opening the path forward. There was only one problem. They still had to find the door. Somewhere within the vast reaches of the world's largest dungeon, weighted the lock this key had been created to open. The party now knew the answer lay behind them, somewhere in the halls they had already crossed. Their next journey would not be about finding the key. It would be about returning through the dungeon, surviving everything between them and their destination, and discovering exactly what waited on the other side of the door. The key had been found. The path forward was finally within reach. And in the world's largest dungeon, opening a sealed door was rarely the end of a problem. Usually, it was the beginning of a much larger one.